Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of Massachusetts Youth in Government. Welcome to the YIG Daily Show. I'm Max Hurley.
And I'm Emily Erdos. Today was a busy first day at conference, starting with the State of the Youth in Government speech and ending tonight with the holiday-themed mixer.
Indeed, the opening ceremonies were memorable and well attended by a host of notable local politicians. The guest speaker, Deborah Goldberg, broke down diversity barriers and emphasized the goal of bipartisanship in serving the Commonwealth.
Following Goldberg, Governor Gabby Donahoe inspired delegates with her words about superheroes and dared delegates to be heroes in their own lives.
Yes, truly touching. After the opening ceremonies, delegates buckled down to work in their respective branches. Legislators presented their bills in committee hearings. Justices and attorneys prepared briefs for tonight's pretrial motions. We here at the press corps released our first issue of the Beacon, and the lobbyists stood around and looked good.
Riveting! Oh, this just in. Breaking news from our four-legged field reporter, Connor Canine.
Good boy, Connor. Over in the judicial branch, attorneys are laboring over the evidence of a murder case and deciding how to approach it from both the defense and the prosecution. Chief Justice Alex Palladino met with us to shed some light on the specifics of the case.
I've been told this clip is rather riveting, Max.
Yep.
My name's Alex Palladino. I'm the Chief Justice this year, presiding over the mock trial case. And the story of this case starts at Rosewood High School, where in late 2013, a girl named Sandra was out partying, and she mixed Adderall with alcohol, big no-no, and she died. And so after that, the Principal McAllister, said to everyone, "We need to fix this." And so he informed the police, and they put on a police officer, Officer Doherty, a youthful lad, to be a student at Rosewood High School, starting in February. And so he did, and he noticed that the source of this Adderall nonsense was coming from the marching band. And so he sort of became friends with our three biggest players in this case, Jason Johnson, Alex Weaver, and Ray Concha, who were all in a band called Double Trouble, which is a euphemism for Adderall. And so one day, February 16th, Jason decided to go to a party, and I guess he didn't hear about Sandra because he also took Adderall and alcohol, and he had a heart condition, and he was out of school for 3 days. And so the officer asked around, what's going on? What happened to Jason? Why isn't he in band? And their friends, Alex and Ray, sort of joked. Well, Ray said, "Oh, Jason couldn't handle Addie." And Alex sort of made similar remarks, saying how Jason really shouldn't be doing that, and that he doesn't know exactly where it came from anyway. And returning, Jason said to Officer Doherty, who wasn't Officer Doherty at that time, "Hey, I got involved in some Adderall issues. What do you think I should do about that?" So Officer Doherty sort of asked around, and the next Friday, it was kind of wild because Jason died doing Adderall and alcohol. And so it's sort of this big thing of who done it, because a lot of people think Ray did it, but, you know, of course he said to that, "No, of course I didn't do it. I would never do that. I was friends with him since middle school. He's a great guy." why would I ever do that? And which Alex responded to, you did. I've seen you do drugs. I've seen you deal drugs. I didn't do it. You did it. But others think Alex did it. But mainly, Ray's kind of the guy here. Most people think he did it. He's being charged with second-degree murder, possession of illegal drugs, though he does have a prescription for Adderall, but not in the dosage he was dealing, or accused of dealing. So that's pretty much where we're at.
Wow, that was quite riveting.
Yep.
Oh, it seems now that we have a breaking update on our head lobbyist, Sam Schultz. Connor Canine brings us the bone.
Like, a little while.
Keep up the hard work, lobbyists. Up next, we have a Yig Press exclusive hot seat interview with the Wonder Governor herself, Gabby Donahoe.
Let's take a look.
So, you invited me here?
Yeah.
So, proceed with the questions, please.
What do you like most about the press branch?
What I like the most about press is being on interviews with delegates, getting to know what they like about the program.
Fantastic. I love that. And when did you become Ryan Strands?
I became Ryan Strands roughly 3 hours ago when I arrived. I came a little late.
You did come in late, and it was very noticeable.
I'm glad that my presence is known.
It was on purpose.
Yes, I love to show up fashionably late and make an entrance.
Make an entrance. That's
Those
exactly
are the two
what
things
you
I'm
need.
actually known for back home.
In Quincy.
No, back home.
Do you want to ask me questions?
Yeah, okay. What have you learned in Yig?
A lot. Youth in government teaches you how to be a good citizen. It teaches you how to be a good leader, how to be a good person. It gives you the skill set necessary in order to, really apply yourself in and outside of the program. It teaches you how to speak well, how to speak eloquently. I guess how to sum it up, the biggest thing would be how to be a good citizen and how to really apply yourself in legislation and in the legislature, but also how to apply yourself in your own communities at home.
How has the program helped you in other aspects of your life?
The program is the reason that I can speak so well. I'd like to think that I can speak well. The program really gave me the confidence I need in order to present myself in front of others, which has helped me in numerous other environments beyond the Youth in Government program.
What got you involved at first in the Youth in Government program?
So my freshman year, I went to the same school as the governor, and it was Hannah Bialik at the time, and I had played volleyball with her in the fall, and she encouraged me and a couple of the other freshmen that played volleyball to come out and try Youth in Government, and she said that she saw a lot of herself in me. I don't know if that was true or if she was just trying to, get me to the program, but she was the one who convinced me to join, and I did not want to join at first, but I went because she told me to, and she was the senior and I was the freshman.
What was your biggest hurdle on your road to becoming governor?
Confidence in myself and knowing that what I do is good enough, because I really struggled with that, and I struggled with the way I spoke, and I struggled coming to the program and hearing everyone else speak and listening to their debate topics, and coming to the program and not knowing much about politics at all, and you're surrounded by delegates who are so well versed in policy and current events and current issues. So yeah, I think that would sum it up.
Would you recommend Yig to others?
Everyone.
So additionally, I was not able to attend the, I believe it was the speech you gave about your platform.
The State of Youth and Government.
And, well, what you guys sort of agreed, what kind of things you were going to pass, what kind of things you weren't going to pass.
Yep.
And 3 stood out to me. So you decided against raising the tobacco purchasing age.
Yeah.
Do you think babies should be allowed to smoke?
No.
At what age do you stop caring if people smoke?
I think that tobacco is a larger issue, and I think that we already have so many issues right now with the fact that it's at 18. But as an executive branch, we didn't believe that raising the age to 20, I believe it was 25, that it would just be effective in the ways that it needs to be effective in order to make a change in the Commonwealth.
Did you know cigarette smokers are more likely to engage in risky behavior and get in fights and suffer from depression? So would you like to keep that out of high schools?
Well, no, because it's still illegal for minors to smoke cigarettes.
But keeping them out of high school, keeping these sort of issues out of high school, would you agree that this is important?
I agree that this is important, but that was not what the bill addressed.
Did you know that 1/4 of high school students, roughly 1/4, 23% actually have tried tobacco products?
I can believe that.
Do you ever think there's an age at some point where people just stop getting affected by the harms of smoking?
No, I think it can affect you at all ages.
Another thing that stood out to me was you wanted to lengthen the process for assisted suicide. Do you feel that you should make this already stressful process complicated and further add duress to the patient?
We don't believe that it's making it complicated. We're believing that we're putting necessary preventative measures in the system in order to prevent further abuse in the system. So we wanted to make sure that the patients were old enough to understand what was going on, that they were old enough and had legal rights as an 18-year-old, as an adult, to make the decision to end their own life. And we wanted to make sure that the idea of assisted suicide was addressed. I know that in a couple of the other proposed legislations for assisted suicide, they wanted to make sure that assisted suicide was not listed as the cause of death. So that was very important to the cabinet as well, in a way of accountability, and also really it was accountability. Yeah.
Do you believe all ages feel pain?
Yes.
You said something about age. So, like, how does age come into consideration? If all ages feel pain, you said that they have to know what they're doing. But if they're suffering, wouldn't you want them to have the option?
Well, yes, and I think that's a bigger issue because they're still a dependent of their parents. I guess 18-year-olds are too if they're still living in the same house, but at 18, you're officially considered an adult in the United States of America and in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So that was really the reasoning behind that for us, was that if you're an adult, then you can make the decision, but if you're a child, then the adult in your life would be responsible for making that decision, and none of the legislation addressed that.
Do you believe the government should be able to look in your closet?
I guess it depends.
Should the government be allowed to have cameras in your home?
No.
So at what point do you draw the line? Because you guys wanted to allow tax records to be public?
We do. Yeah, income tax records.
Do you believe that people have the right to some sort of privacy?
Yes, and there is privacy addressed in the legislation, which we made sure of before supporting it.
The Fourth Amendment specifically protects search and seizure. Where do you feel you gain the authority to not only search for these documents, but to make them public?
Yeah, well, with the legislation, it will require everyone when they file taxes. It would be as a point of filing taxes that it would become public.
And the privacy is just callously thrown aside?
Well, no, because the privacy issue is addressed, so there's no names attached to the records and such.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I laughed. Thanks, Gabby. Wow, Connor Canine is really on the hunt for the latest news tonight. He's sniffing out our latest update with Sam Schultz.
Honestly, folks, I cannot think of a better representative of YIG than Sam Schultz. His work ethic is truly unparalleled.
Tonight's your lucky night, folks, and we've got back-to-back exclusive hot seat interviews.
Take it away, me. Welcome to the Hot Seat. I'm your host, Max Hurley, and right now we have Kyle White, President of the Senate, in the House with us. Kyle, what's your most embarrassing childhood moment?
Ooh, when I was in the 8th grade, or 7th grade actually, I went to the bathroom.
Can you sit up straight?
Sit up straight. When I was in the 7th grade, I went to the bathroom and somehow a random piece of toilet paper got on the back of me, and I walked around in class.
Not so random, am I right?
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What are the Y Core values?
Caring, respect, honesty, and responsibility.
Cool. So what do you do in your alone time?
In my alone time, I like to collect coins. It's a little bit nerdy, but I really find it interesting, especially the history behind all of it.
Sounds wild.
Yeah.
Crazy. So in your speech, you talked about having a recess in between the bills for the Senate. Will there also be snacks? And if you're going to treat us like elementary schools, will we get free juice boxes or anything like that? I'm really interested in that.
So when I said recess, I just mean a quick 5-minute break, just so everyone can get up and get the.
Yeah, that's cool. But I'm worried about getting my lunch money stolen.
I don't think anyone's going to steal your lunch money.
Okay,
I think
that's
the
a
sergeant at arms will protect you.
Anyway, awesome. Any other great ideas for the Senate this year?
No, in my speech I think I outlined my big point. I just want to create the best debate possible, the best atmosphere we could possibly have.
And what do you think your flaws are?
My flaws, thinking on the spot, I sometimes have some trouble, so right now, obviously,
You're handling
things like this. Thank you.
So you mentioned getting a tattoo of the Albany Plan of Union on your back if you had to.
Yeah.
Are you aware that dismemberment of animals is a kind of a big red flag for later serial killers?
I do not find interest in chopping up snakes. I just like the historical value of it.
I know. I just heard there were rumors going around that you killed the cat or something.
Yes.
Wanted to clear that up.
There were some rumors.
Make sure that everyone knows that you're
I don't even
not
own a
an
cat.
animal killer.
No, I'm not an animal killer. Those were rumors.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Truly, truly riveting.
That's all the news we have for tonight. Tune in tomorrow evening for the latest from YIG Press.
Stay classy, Omni Parker.